Our next speaker this morning will be Nicholas Hall with his speech entitled Life in the Middle.
Good morning. Have you ever noticed on the first day of school or the first day of a camp or the first day of, any event when we're meeting new people, we're always asked to reveal something unique about ourselves. Whenever I am asked to say something about myself or give an interesting fact about my life, why is it the first thing that pops in my head is, hey, I'm the middle child. Now, I'm sure many of you have heard that the middle child gets the least attention or that he grows up to be the least successful. I know I've heard these stereotypes before, and I will admit, at least superficially, that they do apply to me. But history has shown that many famous and successful people have overcome the dreaded stereotypes of the middle child. Now, I already know what you all are thinking. A speech about being the middle child? Really? What am I supposed to take from this guy? See what I mean? Right from the start, you guys already have low expectations of me. Take a look where I am in the program, right before intermission. Right before intermission, dead center. Story of my life. But before I lose your attention, let me tell you the stereotypes of the middle child in the average family. Typically, the middle child comes after the first. The excitement of the first child, the first grandchild, the first niece or nephew is completely lost on the middle child. The baby shower for the mother is usually not needed. Your dad probably did not pass out cigars. Any clothes have been bought and worn at least a few times. The excitement of the first steps, the first words, the first whatever is somehow a little less exciting, less new. The middle child also has fewer pictures as a baby. Now, my older brother Alex has newborn pictures, first month pictures, 3-month pictures, 6-month pictures. First time he drooled pictures. I have the picture from the hospital and another one when I was in first grade. But don't give me too much credit. The school took that one. So here I am in the shadow of the golden child, the firstborn, the one with all those pictures everywhere. But don't get me wrong, Alex, he's a cool big brother. He really doesn't play it up most of the time. But still, it always seemed like I was in his shadow. So if you thought things could not get any worse for me, why did my parents go ahead and have another child, a little brother, the last child, the baby? This was their last chance to be parents to a newborn, their last chance to, in my case, get it right. The baby had a little more attention because he was the youngest. He needed more attention, more cuddling, and more pictures. Considering the inauspicious beginnings of middle children throughout the ages, it is a real wonder how any of them survive, much less succeed. How can you make something of yourself given the dysfunctional circumstances caused by your birth order? Well, surprisingly, many did. I know you all have heard of Abraham Lincoln, but what many of you probably did not learn in your American history class is that he himself, of course, was the middle child. But imagine all the distress and anxiety that Abe had to go through. He probably got zero attention from his parents. He probably had zero friends and was told he was going to be nothing. Same with Martin Luther King Jr. and John F. Kennedy and the founder of Microsoft, Bill Gates. All were middle children. While they were growing up, I doubt they thought they were going to have such an impact on our country like they did. What would our country be like if they had not surpassed those middle child stereotypes? But I did a little more research on middle children and found some fascinating information. Now, you remember the first child gets all the new stuff and the first shot at everything just automatically because he was first. And the baby gets everything he wants by merely whining and crying and acting like a baby. Well, by definition, neither of these approaches work for middle children like me. We can't just wait for stuff to happen for us, nor can we cry and stomp our feet to get results. But what psychologists have learned is that we middle children learn to negotiate and cajole others into doing what we want. We basically learn to deal with people better because we've had to work at it our entire lives. That's why old Abe is not the only middle child United States president. There were 22 others. And all those world peace negotiations came from a lifetime, and I mean a lifetime, of strategy development. In my family, I'm the one who actually plays with both my older and younger brother. I rarely see the two of them even talk. I'm the only child that actually thanks our parents for buying dinner or taking us on trips. I'm their only child that actually says, "I love you." But don't think that's a bragging point or anything, but come on, Alex, it's true. But when you think about it, all the rigor of being a middle child is really great preparation for life. Nothing is handed to you on a silver platter. Life takes an ever-changing strategy, and middle children are most adept at dealing with the fluid nature of life. We are naturally empathetic to friends and strangers, and are usually the most easygoing in the family, because nothing came easily. Middle children stress the need for rules and that decisions be made fairly. In short, we demand justice. And finally, middle children are the most creative. See, when your parents were busy showering attention over the oldest and the youngest, we were using our brains, thinking outside the box, planning to end apartheid in South Africa, or even inventing the telephone. Yeah, you guessed it. Nelson Mandela and Alexander Graham Bell were middle children too. But the biggest thing I learned from my research, and even looking at the lives of middle children, and even looking back at mine, is that along with getting the least attention, having the fewest pictures, and even wearing the older brother's hand-me-downs, the most important job of the middle child is creating a sense of unity that brings people together. That's what Abe did with the North and the South. That's what Martin did with the blacks and the whites. That's what Bill Gates did with computers and the world. But as the middle child, I now understand and value our essential roles in our families. We're the glue that holds everything together. Thank you.
Great job, guys. Really, really good.